Going to call the meeting to order. Is this the regular or a
Yep.
special?
It's a regular. Well,
It's special
The
because it's
special-
on a different date, but it's regular according to the Town of Easton. Because it's just having it and it's not an executive session.
Yeah.
I
For a special board meeting of the Easton Housing Authority, roll call, Commissioner Christian Sheedy,
here.
Commissioner Burrows,
Yeah.
Commissioner Paquin,
Here.
Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is present, and Commissioner Tebow is not going to be with us tonight. He's under the weather. And just for the record, the meeting is being recorded and broadcast by ECAT. So, that said, agenda item number 1 is the Resonant, am I saying that right? Resonant Energy Solar Panels presentation and board vote. So, you're up.
Oh, do you want me to shut these curtains? So it's not in the
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
Feels fitting that right when we're about to talk about solar, the sun
I know.
blasting through the windows.
Here comes it. And she has this song. There's a song about that.
The date, so.
I'm good at that.
Alright, well, everyone has materials in front of them, so I'm happy to introduce myself to get started. My name is Anna Leary. I'm from Resident Energy, Business Development Manager, and I'd be happy to introduce my colleague and Greg next.
I'm Lisa Raffin, also with Resident Energy, also on the development team with Anna, here to support this project.
And my name's Greg Abbey. I work for the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, or EOHLC, and I'm the Senior Climate Program Specialist. So my role is to try and help housing authorities across Massachusetts make their developments more resilient to things like extreme heat, flooding, etc., and also reduce their energy consumption and therefore greenhouse gas emissions. So that's me. And if folks can't hear us, just let us know and we can turn around and we can talk.
So we're here today as part of a collective. It's called the STAR program. It's a collaborative between the Resident Energy company that we're from, as well as LISC Massachusetts, and this year we have funding from
I
UHC.
can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, no
Your
problem.
voice trails off after the second sentence.
Okay. So we are here to talk about a program that has funding from EOHLC and is in partnership with Resident Energy, which is our organization, as well as LISC Massachusetts. And one of the goals of our program this year, we're in the 6th cycle, is to focus on mitigating the legal and technical barriers of accessing solar, particularly for public housing authorities. So I'm going to go right into a little bit about this grant opportunity, and Greg, if you would like to talk a little bit about how you kind of came into this. We have.
Sure. So the STAR program has been around for a number of years, and housing authorities have participated here and there, but most recently when the application cycle opened up for this past round of the STAR program, I got in touch with the folks doing it and said, hey, what if we were to take a look at the state-aided housing authority portfolio based on the data that HLC has? We've got a whole database of what size are the roofs, what age are they, what type of heating and cooling equipment is there, and so on, and try and narrow down to a cohort of housing authorities who've got all the right pieces in place to be able to take advantage of a program like this. And so going through this process and winnowing out folks whose roofs were too small or too old, we landed on a set of housing authority developments, and we are here at a couple of them. EOHLC, through our sustainability funds, are able to cover the installation cost of the equipment, which is great. And in addition to that, we're looking to do a couple of different things on the finance side, which we can talk about more in just a few minutes, but the gist of it is you get to keep a bunch of the proceeds that come from the state as retained revenue for yourselves and use it for any purpose that's allowable. And HLC benefits because you're using less in electricity, so we don't have to give you as much to pay for the electricity. So then we have more funding that we can dole out to all the housing authorities and use to operate different programs.
So how'd you guys hook up with Resonant?
Resident and LISC are sort of the co-folks running the STAR program.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they opened up the application, what I did was I submitted an application on behalf of all
Housing.
230 housing authorities.
242.
Yes. And because I thought, well, what the heck? I'll just submit this on behalf of everybody, knowing that they probably won't go for it. But what they did go for was about 15 or so. Came back and said we could look at about 15, do that analysis, and therefore, Greg, go forth and find a group that are well suited for this work.
So you guys actually didn't go out and procure them to do this work.
That's correct. They're the folks
They
who
came to you.
Yes, they opened up the application and HLC applied on behalf of a whole bunch of housing authorities.
And that's past the OIG's sniff test.
Yes.
Okay.
So the procurement piece comes into it. There's a page on how all of that will work, hopefully in the coming months and years.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're already affiliated with 66 other housing authorities? Is that true, or is that 66 participants that are not?
Right, so 66 participants is the STAR program before, actually.
You palled up with EOHLC. Okay, so do you have any housing authorities in the program yet?
Mm-hmm.
We do. We have the Arlington Housing Authority, we have the Lawrence Housing Authority, we have,
Second one was Lawrence?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Holbrook Housing Authority, soon to be Winthrop Housing Authority, Whitman Housing Authority, that's right.
So it's 5. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And how long has this situation been in place that you've paired up?
6 months, 8 months, something like that.
I think we've been talking about it for a year. The procurement piece was actually how we started talking with UHLC to understand best what the access barriers were, since we were working on similar projects with Cambridge Housing Authority and Boston Housing Authority. And the question became, with those projects, there were RAD conversions and there were other methods of being able to do direct ownership projects, but how you then expand that to his 242 housing authorities was a big ask. Like, how do we unravel the procurement piece? And so some of the advocacy work and legislative work dates back a little prior to this program.
So how long has Resident been in existence?
We have our 10-year anniversary this year, so 10 years. And we started in the basement of a church, and from there on we have expanded into private affordable housing, nonprofit affordable housing, and now public affordable housing. Amongst other types of nonprofit.
And you were probably going to explain all that, and I jumped right in and cut you off. So go ahead.
No, it's fine. So a big part of what is exciting about this opportunity for public housing authorities is the fact that there is retained revenue through the SMART program that we're able to allocate through some of the very minutiae kind of cash flow sheets that we'll get into in a little bit. But I just wanted to
explain it.
Yeah, let's do it. So basically, there's a 20-year term that the state incentive provides a project like this one. And from conversations with the UHLC, we discovered that this would stay with the housing authority as retained revenue, and it would not impact your budget. So I know that there were some questions coming into this meeting about that. We'd be happy to answer some of them.
So it's a percentage for the housing authority. What's the percentage?
What do you mean by percentage?
The earnings.
The earnings.
I mean, what you're producing, we get a piece of that comes back to us. No?
No, actually, it's
So it's
nice.
not like net metering.
That's exactly right. Yeah, in this
Okay.
case, basically, the way that the SMART program, there's a lot of acronyms, right? So the STAR program is the solar design thing, but the SMART benefits they're run by DOER. You may have heard of RECs, renewable energy credits, in the past. SMART is the new version of that, and it's pay for performance. So it looks to see how many kilowatt hours did your solar array produce, and they pay you a fixed rate per kilowatt hour for 20 years.
Oh, we don't get to renegotiate that at all if we want?
Nope, it's set by, I think it's regulations, DOER creates the program, and they pay you a set amount per kilowatt hour for 20 years.
So we're setting that at 20 at the beginning, at year one, and then 20 years from now, we could be taking a big fat loss.
Why would you be taking a loss?
Maybe it's worth a hell of a lot more in 20 years, and we're still stuck at year one's rates.
Oh,
So the SMART incentive is fixed for 20 years because it's an incentive that replicates the renewable energy attribute. And so other states and prior in Massachusetts before the SMART program, there was this SREC program. There was a commodity, and so you could buy and trade SRECs or RECs, and that commodity that price would change. The SMART program for the incentive rate is fixed, and at the time that you get a statement of qualification for your project, the rate is fixed based on how the program works. So for your project, it's set at 15.9 cents kilowatt hour for 20 years. But that doesn't affect your electricity savings. So your electricity savings, when you avoid buying electricity from the grid because you have solar on your roofs, that means you have avoided electricity costs, and that will increase over time because electricity rates go up. So you're not like, by locking in for a 20-year SMART program, it doesn't mean that you're like hedging against yourself on the electricity rates. You still get avoided electricity savings by having on-site solar generation, if that makes sense. So it's two components to the revenue stream. The SMART revenue, which is fixed incentive, and then the avoided electricity costs, which increases as rates go up.
Okay.
Is there analysis on that stuff?
There's a cash flow in the debt.
Yeah.
Did you see page 10?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure how accurate that was, if that was just kind of, was that like research off of our current spending?
So that's research off of your current utility bills, and then the SMART rate is a per kilowatt rate that's determined through DOER for that 20-year term based on how much solar you're generating for the size of the project. So that, if you want to turn to that, the left-hand column in yellow is how much we predict by the size of the arrays that we've mapped out for Lee's Circle, the two Parker Terrace developments, 591,000 kilowatt hours per year. And then we multiply that by the SMART rate, which is in that green column, to receive that estimated SMART revenue. So that's where we came to the $94,000 figure, which would be an annual amount that would go directly to the Housing Authority. The expenses going right on those two columns in red are the resident asset management program that we offer to help with maintenance and also eyes on your sites for coordinating any equipment or maintenance needs for these projects. And the O&M reserve is for labor that we would need to send on site, for example, an electrician or for someone to connect a piece of equipment that is faulty onto one of your sites. So when we take the SMART revenue and subtract the asset management program and that reserve, which is really more of a piggy bank set aside for potential labor and maintenance, that's how we get to that annual cumulative savings benefit year amount of $72,000. And then calculating downwards for 20 years, which is what we highlighted in that pink box at the end, is how we come to that 20-year financial benefit of just over $1 million of retained revenue to the Easton Housing Authority.
So what's incorporated into the management? Is it, how often is somebody out here, or is it a remote monitoring? And what about panels that go bad? What about issues that happen with the roof? How far do you go with this?
Yep, so the asset management program is proactive monitoring that's remote. So we have a team, we actually have a department that is remote monitoring the sites that are part of that program. And we will see immediately if, for example, a module, a panel is turned off, if an inverter suddenly has a power outage to it, if it breaks. We also see if, for example, on our kind of reporting basis, how much your site is generating. And that's important also to UHLC, which we should mention, because there is a reporting mechanism in order for you to be able to participate in the program. Actually, should we go back to that first step?
We can, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, when you receive the smart revenue, you get to keep it as retained revenue and use it however you like, within the confines of what you can do with retained revenue.
And now, is that in writing, and that holds for 20 years?
That'll be in the budget guidelines. Yep.
And the budget guidelines, which change
right.
every year.
But that part won't. That's the intention.
Who's guaranteeing that?
Yeah, put that in writing.
Yeah, really. You're making us laugh hysterically.
We've been around a long time, long time.
So, in order to receive those benefits, you need to turn in a couple of different things. One is receipts, essentially saying, hey, we're claiming $94,000 of retained revenue, and here are the receipts showing we received $94,000. And the second is simply a spreadsheet or some other report showing, here's how many kilowatt hours all of the arrays made in that year. So it's those two pieces that we'll need in order to say, yep, your budget's approved and you can retain that revenue for yourselves.
And so what the arrays you're looking to put on these roofs right now, it's kind of, you're taking a look at who's getting the best sun, obviously. So, and so this is just a forecast. Who knows?
Yep.
I would even say it's a very, very conservative forecast.
You think it's conservative?
Well, we have case studies that show that it's conservative. We've had 10 years of PPAs as well as direct ownership projects where we had estimated that utility rates would not rise as fast. And with the Ukraine war and with subsequent wars that have happened since then, we've seen that there are big jumps in electricity rates. The thing that won't change, however, for Easton is that your smart revenue is fixed. But for the state, for UHLC, your estimated utility rate here would generate about $3.1 million to UHLC, which could be a much higher number depending on how much faster electricity rates rise compared to our conservative estimate, which is about 2.7% year over year.
And so back to the maintenance piece. So anything that goes wrong with that system, it's 100% taken care of by you.
No,
That was too much hesitation.
No, so the monitoring system is just that. It's
Monitoring.
there are folks monitoring it.
Do we have access to this monitoring system?
Yeah, you can have a login. You can, we give clients logins. So
And
the
Would
monitor.
we be able to tell something's wrong too? Because you're monitoring on year 1. Who's monitoring year 15, year 16?
So we would have an asset management contract that can go 3 years, 5 years, whatever the term that you want. And we monitor daily, weekly, we provide reports regularly. And so our team is remote monitoring the system and looking for underperformance or conditions that would throw up a flag, right? And
How about on-site monitoring? How many times a year do you come out and actually look at the panels
so
and the attachments on the roofs?
yeah, so I mean, if there's a problem, then you come out. I mean, but otherwise, you don't have to come out and wash the panels. You don't have to come out and
There's no physical inspection?
if we see an issue, there's a physical inspection. There's also at about year 13, that's the sort of useful life for
Things
inverters.
start to go funky.
For inverters, and so you replace inverters at year 13. The suggested O&M reserve, which is the second red column,
Yeah.
that's a reserve that we put in the cash flow that is there for
Replacing inverters and that.
reactive maintenance. Exactly. Where if something goes wrong, otherwise, we don't contract for an all-in preventative maintenance or proactive maintenance because you don't necessarily know if you're going to need it, right? So we set it up so that it's reactive maintenance, and if the system needs to be, something needs to be fixed, panels need to be replaced, or an inverter needs to be repaired, then we're charging just for that repair call, right? And it could be less than $4,600 in year 1, right? But these are conservative. We don't expect you will spend $150,000 over 20 years and maintenance. That reserve is there as a placeholder. And, I mean, we found that that works out the best. Resident doesn't have, we don't have trucks that do the truck rolls. We hire skilled and experienced like solar and contractors that do maintenance on projects. Right?
So they're not under your control, basically, other than
No,
you
they're
hire
under our
them.
dispatch. We hire them and we dispatch them.
So who's doing the monitoring off-site? Who's the remote? Is that
We do.
your in-house?
We do. We have staff that sets up with the DAS, the acquisition system, the data acquisition system. We have the logins to all of. Right now, at this point, we have like over a couple hundred sites and over 100 clients that we do active monitoring for.
And so how many people are monitoring those sites and
Two full-time people.
2 full-time people? So when does that start to ramp up? And do they monitor 24/7, 365, or
It's
they
not
look
24/7,
at?
365. It's like 9 to 5 with like a 2 business day turnaround, right? It's not like these are not like large assets where there are investors behind the assets, like large solar fields where if it's down for a day, you're losing millions of dollars. So it's not like that kind of.
Yeah,
service level.
they're all worried about loss of income. What we're worried about is who's looking at these systems on our roofs,
Right.
and who's going to come in here and take care of something if there's a problem,
If
and how fast that's going to happen.
Right. Well, it's going to be like a 2 to 3 day turnaround, and if your maintenance staff sees something that's a problem, then you call us, and we're going to have a 2 to 3 day turnaround.
So if it's an emergency,
If it's an emergency, we'll call for dispatch nurse and dispatch.
We're going like extreme weather or something that, panels blowing off or, you know what I mean? Like heavy, any of that different thing.
trees down.
Yeah.
Fires.
Like if a tree falls down and crushes the roof, like. we
You're
have to-
calling
that
your
happens.
insurance company.
Right, but
You're
and
calling your
then
insurance
does our insurance company cover the solar end of it or? how's
No,
that?
your insurance company wouldn't cover the solar, like,
It would cover the solar.
it should cover the solar.
Because that would be in the
you own the
schedule
solar
of
panel.
values that goes to procure the insurance policy. Yeah.
So it's a separate insurance policy you have to carry, or is
Yeah,
it part of what the?
provider on
It'd
it.
all be
You
part
would-
of
The state, okay.
the bundled together insurance that the
Okay,
state
so
procures.
it's already included in that
Right,
plan
so,
that's out there.
yeah, so every year,
Yeah.
folks at HLC procure the insurance for everybody, and they update it based on the schedule of values at each housing authority development. So if a development now has solar, that's factored into the schedule of values that procures the insurance.
So what's the deductible on that?
I imagine it would be the same deductible that
As
you would pay
everything
for
else.
the whole
No,
site. Yeah.
9,000.
9,000.
Yeah.
What's a typical solar panel cost?
Typical solar panel costs about $250 to $300.
That's an interesting discrepancy.
Yeah,
So, okay.
but there's more to the system than the solar panel.
Right, yeah, and then you get all the wiring.
You wire it, the racking, the inverters, the disconnect switches.
Is there a battery that's gonna collect any of the excess? Damn it, how many times did I ask for that?
There are options for that. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I can never understand how that is not part of the process.
Yeah. Well, Massachusetts,
Batteries are expensive.
the sort of the battery economics in Massachusetts, like other states for battery storage, is still a nascent market. And there's connected solutions and CPEC, which are incentive programs in Massachusetts to drive battery storage, and they haven't stuck yet. We haven't seen the market move yet. So the cost of batteries versus what you're getting for the incentives and what you're getting paid for, like on-demand demand reduction, is just like the economics are
Or not?
hard to work out. You need grant money to do it, which there's some grant money for solar, so
But in
It's
situations such as this, in housing authorities, especially where our tenants predominantly elderly disabled, we want to be able to harvest and harness that
Sure.
excess energy
Yeah.
for power outages.
Yeah.
You know, what does their Generac do? Probably
This room,
Yeah,
this
This
and
room,
our septic.
process. So we got 199 units sitting here, 184.
Yeah,
Yeah, power goes out.
everyone's in here.
Nothing, honey.
Yeah.
So that's why we need batteries. And EOHLC should be pushing that issue.
Duly noted.
Yes. Tell them I said so. Yeah, I've been asking for that I started solar on the roof in Fairhaven probably close to 12 years ago. And I have been asking for that battery every year.
What answer do you get other than no? Like, what's the reason?
Yeah, basically, well, there isn't something that, like you were saying, that actually fulfills what's necessary, that makes sense, that's, economical yet.
Right.
I know that Waltham Housing Authority has a backup battery system that powers a community room of theirs. And it's a fairly large community building, I should say, with a lot of different things attached to it. It's not quite the size of a shipping container, but it's probably the size of a good-sized dumpster. So it takes up
It's
a
a
pretty good footprint, that's
Yeah.
right.
Big thing.
And so that stuff is getting better and better all the time. It's getting smaller and less expensive. But putting dumpster-sized things all over a site causes challenges of another kind.
Permitting is a large, is a high challenge. Getting batteries permitted. Big challenge. I mean, you're concerned about your roofs and, maintenance of a solar array. I mean, like, compared to a battery, like, we'd be having like amped up conversations about that. Now, not that we're not anti-battery, like we do solar and battery storage where it makes sense, and it's like, again, it's like nascent and it hasn't really, hasn't gotten to be like household, no pun intended, but like a household device.
To be continued.
Yep.
So do we address the like maintenance concerns, because I feel like that, you have concerns about the roof.
We do.
And
They're
can
brand
you be
new.
more specific about what the concerns are on the roof, or?
So-
We put solar on roofs all the time.
Do you want me to tell you what Dan's concerns were, the maintenance regarding those? Would that be
Sure.
helpful? And I think we've talked about these, so it won't be a secret. It was the cost of repair of the roof, as roofs are fairly new right now here at PACA. Cleaning of the panels, dust, pollen, dirt, and the bird droppings. Sliding, ice, and snow, that's a safety concern of the residents. Maintenance costs for electricians for future work and upgrades. Leaking roofs and the possibility of not being able to pinpoint the leak. For a
Karen, can we
repair.
step- You're at 5, and we won't have the memory. Can we do them one by one?
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right.
Go ahead, sorry.
As I,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So
So
the
the first one was the cost to repair the roof, as the roofs are fairly new.
cost to repair the roofs,
Yes.
as the roofs are fairly new.
So, and I think what he means by that is that our roofs are fairly new. So
Right.
I think within the past 10 years we've replaced them here. So they probably have 15 more years left.
Because of the shingle they use, sometimes they have
Usually it's a 40-year architecture.
Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the issues. When we had talked last time about when those need to be replaced, what does that look like? Is it the removal of the solar panels, putting back on the solar panels? That
So-
was,
Yeah, so, the expected useful life of a solar panel system is anywhere from like 25 to 30 years, right? And so if you have architectural shingles on there that are under 10 years old, and you think that you have a 40-year shingle, then you should have 30 years left of useful life. When you put solar,
In a perfect case
in a
scenario.
perfect case scenario, right? When you put solar panels on top of a roof, it tends to like slow down the degradation of roof shingles underneath the panels, but you know, it doesn't cover the
It's
entire roof.
absorbing.
You don't wanna put solar panels on top of a roof and then have to take them down and reinstall them, take them down, replace the roof shingles and reinstall them. You just
Yeah.
you don't wanna pay for that. So if you think that you don't have 25 years left in these architectural roof shingles, then you're taking a bit of a risk in putting solar panels on. And that risk is like eyes wide open. You shouldn't put solar panels on top of a roof that's
An old
over
roof,
half
Yeah,
its useful life.
yeah, use perfect.
Right. So
And
that's
one
that
of
one.
yep, and then one of them we've already addressed, which was cleaning of the panels for the dust
Okay,
falling,
so
bird droppings, dirt, things like that.
I don't know how much you have for seagulls and bird droppings here, but like
There's
typically
plenty of birds.
Lots of
Maybe not so
birds.
much seagulls, but.
So, dust and pollen, like we have enough rain, albeit diminishing, we have enough rain in the New England area that we don't recommend power washing or cleaning panels. There's enough rain that sort of cleans the panels, such that like they produce what they're supposed to produce. So we don't recommend cleaning. Like if we were in the Southwest or if we were near an airport, then you would want to be cleaning it. Panels.
But even like the bird droppings, the stuff that comes off the trees, sap off of pine trees.
You typically don't have to. I mean, like if there are pine trees over the panels, and you're not getting sun, so there's a problem there, right? We shouldn't be putting panels under trees. You might have to trim trees if they're that close to that buildings. The next one.
Sliding, ice, and snow safety of residents.
Excellent. Sliding ice and snow. We're going to do snow guards, and we're going to make sure that we design where the snow guards go to make sure that, like, wherever there might be people walking around the building, over entrances, sidewalks, etc., that we use snow guards there. And what happens with the snow guards is it kind of retains the snow on the panels so that it can't fall off into the ice sheets.
So how does that impact gutters that are up on buildings?
It doesn't impact the gutters. Like the gutters remain on the breakage of the roof. Talking about the roof gutters.
Maintenance costs of electricians for future work and upgrades.
So that would be, that's O&M reserve. We would not call upon the housing authority's maintenance staff to do any of the work. So that would be like dispatched solar contractors.
Leaking roofs and the possibility of not being able to pinpoint the leak for repairs.
So on the pitched roofs, the roof penetration that supports the racking is a weatherproof penetration. It's a rubber boot, right? You get a threaded bolt that goes into a rafter, and then there's a rubber boot around it, and then there's an L foot that's like L-shaped, and the racking gets attached to that, and it gets flashed underneath the asphalt shingles, much like roof vents do. So it's the same weatherproofing application as a roof vent. And so you'll have multiple supports for the racking that support the panels, and those are all weatherproof in the same way. So you should not have any leaks. If you have leaks, then you have to determine what the cause is, and if the cause is from the solar array, then
Who has to determine that? We have to?
we would come out and help determine that. I mean, I'm sure in conjunction with
Well, most of the time you're gonna have roof leak, it'll probably happen in the first year anyway. You guys warranty the first year
That's right.
of install where if you're gonna have a leak, you would notice it right away.
Want me to keep going?
Yeah, you can
I know you guys have heard these all before.
That's right.
The cost versus the payoff. I know we had talked about in the subsidy. It says after it. So we had talked at length about that. About now we're at 80. We're above 80% for our subsidy, and with the subsidy of electric being paid, but then we're getting the 72,000. How does that affect us? Does that bring us over our subsidy, and would that cause us to lose?
Subsidy.
Yes. So that was, we talked about that, I think 3 times, and emailed back and forth because that's one of my biggest concerns, especially with the budget. As you know, it's yes now, later on. That is really my biggest worry. The next
subsidy is to keep the septic system and the whole treatment plant
running,
running.
like, that's a priority.
The price of that continues to increase. The chemicals.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
before you move off
Yes,
subsidy, I'm sorry, before you move off subsidy, do you want that addressed?
yeah, do you
again, or-
want to explain to them
Sure.
because I know that you and I had talked about it, but
Yeah. So subsidy calculations are complicated, as I don't think anybody can argue with. But the long and short of it is, for housing authorities whose revenues are less than a formula, ANUL, plus your utility costs, then EOHLC makes up the difference, is the long and short of it. And that's a combination of those things together are the subsidy. In this case, your $94,000, I think it was, in SMART benefits are considered retained revenue, and they don't factor into that formula at all. So they live totally separately. They're not counted as revenue for purposes of calculating your subsidy. Then I went and chatted with folks in the accounting staff to look at what your expenditures are and what you reported for utilities and so on. And the amount that you're anticipated to save in the first year in electric costs is something like $114,000 or $144,000. It's in one of the columns there. And you are reimbursed for, or you receive a subsidy amount that's higher than that number from HLC. So in other words, by using $144,000 less in electricity, we give you $144,000 less in subsidy because you no longer have need of that funding. You're not being billed by the utility for that cost. However, everything else stays exactly the same, and you wind up with $94,000 that you didn't have before. So the answer to the question is, does the subsidy number go down? And the answer is yes, but that's because the costs go down and you wind up with $94,000 that you didn't have before that you can use on any allowable purpose. So the overall financial picture is better than it would have been without the panels.
So whatever it might be from this only applies to subsidy that might have been affiliated to electric usage.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So most of our subsidy is affiliated with our treatment plant and our chemicals. So that you're telling me is 100% going to stay in place and never be compromised by anything we earn from solar panels.
Well, I can't say never in the same way that if you were to replace all of your lights with LEDs, I can't tell. These
Yes,
look like
they
they
are.
could be LEDs, yeah. So let's say that they were inefficient and you did a big project through Mass Save and you made everything much more efficient, and now you don't use as much in utility costs. You would report less utility costs to us, and we would reimburse you for less utility costs. So this is the same exact mechanism as doing energy efficiency, it's just doing solar instead. It's saving on utility costs through a different avenue. But in this case, you're also generating money that lives on the side and is not part of any of the subsidy calculations at all.
But it is part of budget. When we go to do budget, it's going to be there in its own little line item.
Yep, I forget what the accounting line is, but it's called retained revenue.
Okay.
Yep, and it doesn't figure into the subsidy calculation itself. It took me about an hour and a half to
Get
work
the
through all the
command of that?
nuances of it. That's right.
Yes.
I've been practicing.
So the state's never gonna say to us that your retained revenue number has gotten to such a point that maybe Easton doesn't need to keep all of that. And maybe the state should be able to take a little piece of it back for their purposes.
I can't speak for 15 years from now, but my intention as the Senior Climate Program Specialist is to try to encourage more housing authorities to do things like installing solar. And I think that the financial benefit that you stand to receive over 20 years is a big enough of a carrot that I do not want to mess with it.
Okay.
I want to leave that carrot for you to be able to do with it what you like. So that's my intention, but that's about as far as I can go because I am not the state necessarily.
I've just known in the past when they've seen particularly high retained revenue, there has been occasion where they've said,
We need it more than you do.
Well, the good news is the state, HLC, does benefit from this work because by using less electricity, we don't have to give you as much money to pay for that electricity. So we stand to benefit too, and we save on those expenditures that then we can dispense that money to all the housing authorities as just a bigger slice of the pie in that formula equation.
think back to when net metering came into play.
That's what I was wondering.
And,
Oh, yeah, and we have
and
the
there
net
was
metering
only
contracts
so
right
much that they were gonna allow the authorities to keep of the money they earned.
Mhm.
And then they decided, oh, well, if you get to this point, maybe we'll let you keep that much, and if you get to that point, we'll let you keep that much. So we're gonna be playing that kind of game again?
It's not my intention. My intention is to
No, it's
leave
not
it alone.
your intention, I'm not saying you, I'm saying
History-wise,
all the
yeah.
other powers that be up there.
I will defend it vigorously.
Yeah, see how that goes.
We enjoy working with the state, but we understand the dynamics of it. So, I will always pull coals if I can.
Fair enough.
What happens with the net metering?
So, yeah, so Dan, the fee accountant, we have a lot of Dans here. The fee accountant, I was speaking because we had talked about the subsidy. I reached out to him. I said, you know, what's going on here? And he said, why would Easton need this if we're already under contract for net metering and we have lots of years left in our contract? And how does that affect that contract?
And isn't there a cap as to how much we can commit of our kilowatt hours? Aha!
We just did this today. Thank you for alerting us that this was something.
Thank you.
Happy to give more out.
And sidebar, we'll just add this to a future conversation. What happens in 20 years? Who owns it? What do we do with it? Do we own it? Do we have to then?
You own it right out of the gate. You own and operate the system right out of the gate. And then in 20 years, 25 years, you still own it, and you can decide, depending on how it's performing, do you want to keep it there? Do you want to replace the panels with the latest and greatest? They're getting more efficient all the time, able to generate more per panel all the time. So,
If you want to take the whole system down, you could do that too, but that would be our cost.
yep, that's right.
And how much would it cost to take that whole system down if we chose to remove it?
Probably a fraction of the overall benefit. If your benefit is $1 million, you know, it's a 580 kilowatt system, maybe it's 20 to 25 cents a watt, so call that $150,000. You've saved $1 million over 20 years.
So you're thinking maybe around 150 to take every system down off of every roof, or per building.
No, also. I had another thought, but I forgot it.
Join the club.
Yeah, thank you. I'm in the club.
So anything else from Dan?
Well, we talked about the longevity of the solar company, which you said was the 10 years.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
Apologies. So the net metering credit, so this handout that Anna has Just that minor thing, that, like, this need requires some explanation. So,
Okay.
all right, so we received this morning from Greg, thank you very much,
Yes,
Greg.
thanks.
Because I have
The
comments.
Blue Wave Net Metering Credit Agreement. I'm very familiar with net metering credit agreements. Blue Waves was so you signed that in 2016. Per the contract, the system came online in 2017, June of 2017 contract. So that's what's contracted. Maybe it came on earlier or
No,
later.
I think it was
you know.
2017.
Okay, at some point.
That's the only one
When
we
you
have?
got your first
No,
bill,
well, it changes names.
Yeah, oh, they
So-
always do.
That's the only one I could find was the Pure Sky, which was AMP. Yeah, we have one with Pure Sky.
you gave us
I didn't have
a
copies.
Blue Wave.
I didn't have a copy.
Might have been Blue Wave before. It was
Listen.
it's like 4 names.
Yeah, they buy and
They
sell
sell it to each
assets.
other, yeah.
Yes. So Blue Sky right now, Pure Sky, Pure Sky
Okay,
is the
it's the current owner?
yes, as of like a couple months.
Right, and they took, that's a couple months, and
They
they
did.
took over the same terms as
Same.
the original agreement,
Yes.
which is 11, can I have one of these? 11 cents kilowatt hour. Actually, no, it's 28, the floor is 10 cents, and your rate, which you get, is a 28% discount off the net metering credit rate. That's the deal, that's the net metering credit agreement that you signed in 2016, for 20 years. And the volume of energy that you're buying from that solar farm is estimated in year 1 to be 1.3 million kilowatt hours, and in the left-hand box over here. And then, but the cap, which means the maximum that they would sell you, is $1.4 million. I'm sorry, 1.4 million kilowatt hours. So, what we, so that's information, that's the contract. What you actually buy from them on a monthly basis and on an annual basis is some amount of kilowatt hours that we need to confirm. It could be 1.3, it could be less. It won't be more than 1.4. And once we confirm that, we'll know, because we know your total load, because we've looked at your electric bill, your total load is 1.6 million kilowatt hours. On this side over here. We know that you use 1.6 million kilowatt hours, so whatever you're buying, whatever the gap is, that's the headroom left for on-site solar. Right, so if you're buying 1 million kilowatt hours from that solar farm, then you have 600,000 kilowatt hours that you're currently buying from that grid, for which on-site solar could offset, and you can become like 100% energy mix of solar, right? The source of the solar. What we probably will do is size it not up to 100%, but like 90 to 95%, and leave some headroom, because if you exceed your load, you'll get credits on your e-bills that just accumulate, and National Grid will not cut you a check for those credits. You'll
No,
just
they just
accumulate
kind of
those credits.
Floating in
They just-
infinity.
They float in their bank.
Yeah.
Right, they don't pay out on those credits. So that's why it's important for us to understand how many kilowatt hours you buy from that Pure Sky. And so we need like 12 months back, you can have 24 months back, whatever you get from Dan, the monthly statement from the net metering credit agreement, and it should show kilowatt hours generated by the solar farm and what they're charging you that. And then we'll take
Get something every month?
It's not every month.
I
They
didn't
would give
know
us
you were gonna
quarterly.
say that.
Sometimes they do it quarterly.
I'm not sure because I've only written 2 since I've been here. 2 checks,
2 checks with statements with
2 statements. Yep.
But
So
Dan's been here longer.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
Dan's.
know that stuff though.
Okay.
But I have all that stuff in the back. It's just the matter of getting it to you.
Okay, so we did some, we'll call it back of the napkin reverse engineering, basically by looking at your electric bill. If we look at your electric bill, we saw that what you got credited in November of 2025 was $8,000. We took that and we reverse engineered it to get to a kilowatt hours for November based on an assumed rate. And then we get to that kilowatt hours and we say, okay, in November, we're as solar professionals, we know that in November, a solar array produces about 5.8% of the annual production, because it does
Getting
this
bumper.
solar curve. In the summer months, it produces more. So then we back calculate what the total production is, and we got to somewhere between 600,000 kilowatt hours and 1 million kilowatt hours, based on different assumed net metering credit rates. And so if we're between 600,000 and 1 million kilowatt hours that Blue Sky, Pure Sky is delivering to you, against your 1.6 million, you have anywhere from 600,000 kilowatt hours to 1 million kilowatt hours that you're still buying from that grid that you could offset with on-site solar. And we will not move forward with a project sized until we can confirm all the
The data,
numbers.
yeah.
Confirm the numbers. Right now, we're sitting at a project that's 570 kilowatts, generating 591,000 kilowatt hours. That might be too large.
So let's just say we go, yeah, let's do it. We gave you a go ahead. What are we looking at these things being on the roof?
Well, the long pole items are contract, December-ish.
Yeah.
And then interconnection, we'll start an interconnection application with a signed solar design agreement, which is a $9,900 commitment that can be reimbursed, it is reimbursed. And with that solar design agreement, we'll do the electrical engineering to submit the interconnection application. That's a long pole item. Interconnection application can take anywhere from 2 months to, depending on that grid, it could be like 6 months or 8 months. So we would be on the roofs like next year, spring, summer, fall, depending on things that get.
So if we were to agree to this, does this have to go to the DOER? Do they have to sign off on any of it?
Nope.
So blanket from them, blanket, you're okay to go.
Oh, do you mean to UHLC or to DOER?
Both.
So, from an EOHLC standpoint, this works the same way that other construction projects work, in the sense
Okay.
that we've got the cap hub system, we create a project in there, we assign funds, etc. You asked about procurement earlier. So this is one of the things that Resident and LISC and HLC have been working on, because as you know, Chapter 149 procurement has a lot of different hoops and a lot of different thresholds for different types of things. There's another type of procurement that's called 25A. It's for energy-related construction work at public entities. Municipalities and universities use it all the time, but housing authorities haven't really used it that much, and neither has HLC. But everyone is allowed to use it. So there's been legislative work going on to try and clarify a lot of ambiguity in the law itself, to make it clear that this sort of work can happen and go through that expedited energy project focused procurement method. And that, and the House, you may have heard about the energy affordability bill. Clarified language was passed by the House and it was passed by the Senate. It's now in conference committee, comes out of there, governor signs it, we're off to the races. So that's how that procurement piece would work.
So why is it in conference committee?
That's where all the bills go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's just in standard, there's nothing that's really creating concern and conflict and contempt.
No, the House had language that clarified the statute, and the Senate did too, same thing, and now they're just...
Same language, they didn't differ.
Yep, and now they're just hashing out the differences on the rest of the bill, hopefully, and that will come out hopefully sometime this fall, and then we'll see.
So say the systems are all in place by no later than this time next year. So that we're gonna start seeing the actual usage and generating of funds, maybe because how long does it actually start to, before it starts really working and we see the...
So as soon as you turn the system on, you know, you have, you're not pulling electricity from that national grid. So that next month's bill, you'll have a reduced electricity cost. But thank you, the smart revenue is about 1/4 of that. So there'll be a final statement of qualification with the DOER once the system is commercially operational, and then 1/4 after that, it starts, the smart revenues will start.
So it would be like the fourth quarter next year.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I think that like Q3 is optimistic to have this completed by, just understanding how public works go.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sometimes those projects go smoothly and sometimes they have big snags.
I mean, I think what might be delayed is the interconnection, right? So you have 3-phase coming in, depends on the ground, how the buildings are served. Probably
So
single-
we're gonna
probably
tap
single
into
phase.
that underground stuff?
No, we're gonna try not to, no, like each
Yeah, new
building.
paving. We're not touching
We're
it.
not touching it.
Right, no, I'm not
Not
touching
for
that.
20 years.
Would you have 6 meters, right? How many meters are 5 or 6 meters?
I don't remember what Dan said because they're all pull one. At least, remember, they're the ones that are all labeled, at least circle, pull one in Baldwin Street. I think
How many meters there are? Oh,
Dan is the only one that would know that. I do not know that.
got it.
Which dam?
Dan Andrews, our maintenance
Oh, okay.
supervisor.
So the
I can tell you how many bills I get.
The interconnection design needs to contemplate how the buildings are metered, right, and how the services. And they're on a single phase, if there's a single phase to each building, or are they 3-phase, do you know? You don't know. So these are the things that we'll need to work out, they inform the design, then with the design, that goes to NatGrid for their review, and then they evaluate any potential impact of energy put back on the grid. That they assume that the building has got no load and 100% of the solar is put back on the grid, and they do an analysis of how that affects their circuits, and that review process can take some time. So that's one thing that could slow down us getting on the roof.
So do you predominantly work with NatGrid or you're more with Eversource?
All the time. NatGrid and Eversource, a little bit less in Unitil, but
The relationship with them has been successful?
absolutely. Yeah. We know all the DG project managers, so they have the 2 divisions. They've got this, customer service, which you get new service. That's a new service division, and then there's what's called a DG division, so distributed generation. And in that group are project managers that look at on-site renewables.
Anything?
So my next, I guess, concern that I have down here is that, and we talked about this too, that we have the project going for our federal Pacific panels, which is our electric panels that are right now being, they just went out to bid. So we will be approving the lowest bidder tonight, but how is that going to work with the solar panels?
You're replacing electric service panels?
Yes.
Federal Pacific panels.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a relative term.
Okay. So, a couple different ways of tying in. Basically, this is a technical answer. I'm not sure if the question is a technical question.
Well, yeah, I want to make sure, well, it can't interfere with that. That's opera money. That has to be done and pushed through.
Greg shaking his
Those
head.
are you know what I'm saying? Those have to be done
I don't
first.
think a solar panel install would slow that down
Okay.
in the slightest.
And it's not going to, because now they have to come outside of the building. I mean, there's a lot of work that has to take place. They're not
Yeah, I
going to
think-
be in the hole anymore.
I think if anything, the design of the solar system would take the new panel location and the whole thing into account, because you don't want to design for the older thing. You want to design for what's going to be in that's new.
And that's done through the study, right?
Once we do a solar design agreement, we schedule an on-site visit with our engineer, and they come out and they look at all the buildings and they look at where the service is. If your service hasn't been upgraded by then, we should wait till you have your service upgraded. We should get your plans. You have
Yeah, this
no plans. Yes, there are plans. No
There's
plans.
there's bid docs,
Well,
but
that's
they
plans.
haven't.
Yeah.
They're not public yet.
Are you replacing main power panels at each building or something? Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
In kind, well, not in kind, but like, you said locations?
With an upgraded system. Yeah, the older ones are Federal Pacific. They had all sorts of issues.
Are you increasing efforts?
that I don't know.
I think it's just upgrading the panel, I don't think they're upgrading the
Like
size of the
200 amp,
panel.
200 amp
Yeah,
kind of thing?
I think it's just switching out the brand of panels.
Again, if they're going in, again, they're not changing the underground service, then
Mhm.
they're just replacing the panel. Our solar array will come in and we'll either do a line side tap, or we're gonna get a dedicated circuit breaker in there for the solar, and,
You can certainly talk to the engineer about that, who's handled the design of that project.
Yep.
And
we
you
work on new construction a lot too, so,
oh, you do,
we
okay.
do, so with new construction, we coordinate with the engineers.
Might almost be easier with upgraded stuff than
Absolutely,
tapping on the old.
yeah.
That was all on the list.
That was a lot.
The end.
There's one more thing I think that's worth noting, and that is HLC is working to create what's called a trust account. Essentially, it is an account that we can put funds into and then take them out for specific purposes, and it is not subject to the legislature appropriating money or taking it out. And the intent of that is, when there are different savings that are generated by these types of projects, we can say, all right, like in your case, I think it was $140,000 in electric savings in the first year. We could take that $140,000 that we didn't give you, and we could put it in this trust account, and it will live there in perpetuity. It's created by statute, by law. And then we intend to use the funds that sit in that account to help maintain systems like these. That's the express purpose of this account, is to do more solar energy efficiency and so on projects and maintain the equipment.
So what's going in this trust?
So instead of us giving you, say, $144,000 to pay an electric bill, instead, because we'll know, based on the,
So it's just the
Output
money
of
you
your
would
reg.
have spent.
that's right, we have
It's
the
not
ability.
the money that we're due,
Correct,
it's the money that they would have
exactly,
given to us.
that's right.
But then they hold the key to the whole thing.
We have the ability to take that and put it in this account, and then say you have a panel that goes down for some reason. A tree falls and it hits a panel and knocks it out. You could get in touch with us and say, hey, we have a panel that's down. Can you take money out of this account to fix it? And it's an allowable purpose. That's the intention.
Okay, but the parameters of that account are not even on a drawing board yet.
No, we've got the legislation all written up.
Legislation, yes, but how the process is going to go
The
to
process part.
access the money if needed, and
That's
you know,
right.
can you take 100% of what you need, or you're only allowed 80%, and you can pick up the other 20% from your own funds, or
That's true. That process hasn't been worked out. But this sort of account has not been created by HLC
which
before.
scares the hell out of me.
DCAM has one, if that makes you feel a little
No,
better.
it has nothing to do with VOHLC.
That's true, but they do have a revolving green fund that they use in this same sort of way. And they oversee a lot of our procurements, so.
We could talk about that at length as well. I love sending in reviews to DCAM and they go nowhere. But anyhow. All right, where are we at? We need to do something this evening, is that what I was told? Do you need like how soon do you need decisions?
So I definitely think you should go over the timeline.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
I
it.
think
Timeline.
Thank you. Yes, we have the goal of having solar design agreements in place with housing authorities by the end of August. If you need more time to make a decision, mid-September.
So it's just a goal, it's not a requirement.
It's not a requirement, but as we've been expressing, a lot of the process is not putting the solar panels on the roofs. It's getting our engineers here, it's coordinating with your engineer to make sure that things are aligned in terms of how we interconnect, and then the waiting process with the utility, so that this project doesn't go into 2028, it happens in 2027. So the sooner we can get some of that analysis, that research, the engineering and design work done up front, the risk to UHLC's fund really is $9,900 for each of the campuses. But in terms of what you're agreeing to, we don't have a construction contract, we can't even legally get you to a construction contract until the governor's bill is passed into law. So that procurement piece, as well as this analysis that we have to do with our engineers, with your engineers, and with National Grid, is where we would like to get started. Because it takes
So where do we
time.
get reconsulted after you come up with all the analysis details? When does it come back before us so that we go, it continues to make sense to us, where we're still looking to go ahead? Or do we hear something and go, full stop?
Yep.
We don't want to go any further. Do we have that ability to say, done? Or if we sign off and you do all that study and spend all that money, we gotta take it?
Well, the $9,900 solar design agreement engineering fee is paid for with the sustainability award that's available for this work. So if, once the design work is done, and it comes before you again, before you sign a construction contract, if you think, actually, I don't think that this works, then that's that. And it's already been, the design fee has already been paid for using the sustainability funds. So before the construction contract is the short answer.
So who from EOHLC is helping us make decisions as to whether or not this makes sense? You, or is there others? Is it construction people? Is it,
It's one of the engineers. Yep,
all right, and so it's electrical engineer?
that's right.
So who's out there right now for electrical engineer?
Howard Gerber.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I know Howie. Interesting.
So
And-
to just
Yeah.
close that loop a little bit, so we go through a very kind of rigorous set of tasks process-wise because of the interconnection process, but also because it's a de-risking for both resident energy, for UHLC and the housing authority. There are projects that we have said no to because we've seen obstacles that we don't think make
So
sense.
what's the percentage of that?
How many have we said?
2 or 3, right? Pittsfield.
Well, it also can come down to other things that come up within the analysis. So for example, if the school is looking at a structural analysis and they say, we're not gonna spend another $100K to, do beam reinforcement or something of that nature.
The broader, you're saying the broader.
Yeah, but when would we say, or when would the client say, this is not gonna go forward?
Conditions that a client would not go forward is if we didn't get through interconnection. So there's risk with interconnection. But we're in a the grid is saturated in New England, and there are what's called group studies. We can go on and on there, but there's risk in terms of interconnection. In that case, we probably would be downsizing projects from, to get underneath the sort of threshold that the utility would allow a project to be built without network upgrades. So that's one. Consents from diligence parties, like investors or lenders that are, it's not the case here, but our private affordable housing. But that tends to be very rare because ultimately they look at the project and they look at all the aspects of the project and they'll approve it.
What's the town's involvement in
If
all this? Just permits?
Yeah. Just
Typical
permitting, it's a
construction
by right
project,
permit, you just apply for a building permit.
Yeah.
And so it's not like ground mounts or canopies or anything that require like a CUP or a site plan.
And that is nothing that you would ever potentially decide you want to add to this array. You, maybe just roofs are not enough, maybe you're thinking you need canopies or ground.
Canopies are more expensive, so, and you don't have the ground, but canopies are more expensive and they, you know.
Seems like you guys
You want
have done your homework a little bit, I mean, on the site and
Oh, yeah.
kind of,
I mean, we do, the proposed layouts are just like, we're using the roof because that's the most cost-effective way of putting solar, right? Like, it costs more to build a structure above a parking area, you know, so it's the most cost-effective. Other potential, like, pitfalls or things that might, like, cause a client to not move forward might be, so I talked about sort of other like related parties, interconnection, roof age, roof condition, right? That's a big one.
So what is your preferred roof age, under 10?
Especially with like architectural shingles, where if you've got like, if you know the grade of architectural shingle that you bought and it's a 40-year shingle, then you should be fine.
Should be right in the specs, we probably have to set still on site.
Yeah.
Or they're on bid docs. I just had another thought, just what I had.
Mm-hmm. That's essentially it. I mean,
Interconnection, that's between us and National Grid. Getting the system with them.
well, we
Yeah.
do the application, we design the system, we submit the interconnection application, you are the counterparty to the interconnection service agreement, the ISA, so that's between that grid and housing authority, because you own the system. You only come in, you get involved, you look at the plans that we are going to submit, we want you to review them and look and say, okay, those look fine, and basically we're not like asking you to do an electrical engineering review. We're asking you to look at where we're putting solar panels on the roofs and say, yes, that looks fine, and then we submit the application to NACGrid. And then
So
we
what's
follow
the
up with
turnaround time like?
It depends on the process, they have expedited and standard process, you would think that the expedited goes fast, but it doesn't, and the standard process is, for a project of this size, is probably the standard process is like anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
And
But don't quote me.
they sometimes say, no go.
No, they don't say no, well, they would say no go for this system size, but they might say you could, if you downsize or if you put like curtailment on or a zero export limiting device on, then you can do it. So there's like options in which you can still have the same system size, but as long as you don't export any energy to the grid, which you can do with devices, you can have the same system size. So we look at that. Other things that they might look at, they might say, you need transformer upgrades. You need replacement transformers. I think
Do we
that
know how many transformers are on site? No. Yeah, I don't know.
the utilities are well known for getting new replacement transformers with solar projects.
So that
This is it's a good like
time to do
get
it.
a new transformer.
So this before August 31st, that's,
The date was pinned by sort of the program administration to like say, all right, these first grouping of housing authorities, this is the program timeline, and then beyond this, there's gonna be like a second round, and there are a bunch of housing authorities sort of on the wait list. And so it's more of a programmatic like timeline that like keeps housing authorities in the queue and moving through and getting solar projects. It's like, it's more of an exploration, I think, by like HLC than residents.
so you guys basically want to know if we're willing to move forward and kind of some more investigating and kind of figuring
Right.
out a plan.
Again, the SDA, the solar design agreement is non-binding. It doesn't bind you to doing the project because it
It's a
allows us to
study.
do the engineering. It's a study.
So you prefer the answer by August 31st, but that's not a must.
It would really prefer it by the end of August because we're committing, HLC across these different housing authorities are committing quite a lot of resources, and with all the budget forecasting and all that kind of stuff, if a given housing authority isn't interested in moving forward, we want to have enough time to take a housing authority that is but's on the wait list and slot them in.
Can we switch with someone on the wait list? Let them go first?
In
That
theory,
looks just
sure.
like us.
Wow.
Looks just like us.
I've seen heat pumps and stuff that didn't work too good, so
Oh, I've seen plenty of those.
being the first ones to go wasn't good.
Solar panels have been around for decades.
Yeah, I know.
You also won't be the first.
Yeah, there are a few that are ahead.
Okay. How they
Quite a
going?
ways.
Are they up on the roof? Housing authorities.
Yeah, Cambridge and Boston are.
Well, that's the people's
Well, I think
republic.
that right
Yeah,
now,
there you
it sounds like you guys are just looking for us to kind of move forward with some, you know, design and engineering of the system. Right, I mean,
That's
But
Yeah,
it's
the
non-binding agreement.
The next step is that solar design agreement, which is the non-binding engineering study. So that's what's ahead of you immediately. And then as that study rolls through and you learn more about the specifics and so on, then the details get more detailed and you have bigger decisions.
So,
Come back to the table at that
That's
point.
right.
I mean, the four of us can certainly make the decision. It would be nice if the full board was here. We're missing Mr. Tebow, and that, so for all of us to be here potentially would be September 9th, 10th.
Second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday of September. Is that, at that point, are we basically pop down the list because we're not on board by August 31st?
No, not necessarily.
But there's a good
But-
chance.
Yeah, I would say like that's probably the end of the timeline. Is around that halfway through September, 2/3 of the way through September.
Okay, so it's just food for
We had a
thought.
date, Greg, it was September 11th, if I recall, in our last meeting.
September 11th.
So
Maybe September 8th?
Second Tuesday.
That's the second Tuesday?
That's Labor Day
It's
weekend.
right after Labor Day
Yeah.
weekend. The only question I have is, I think when we had met before and you said that $2,000 grant is likely to go away by a certain time. Is that true from the federal?
That's the STAR list for Massachusetts.
I don't know what the expiration is on that.
I'll have to get back to you.
Okay, I think we mentioned that it was, that's why I got the timeline. Am I wrong in thinking that? Maybe I'm misunderstanding it.
No, that might be right. I don't remember exactly what the specific is. There's a stipend that LISC, who is the other entity running the STAR program, that they are giving to each of the housing authorities who sign the study agreement to help defray the cost of staff
Oh,
working on
that's
these
the one.
things.
Okay, so it's that, I'm thinking of the 2 million, not the 2,000.
Did you do 2 million?
Yeah. I was like, wait, where is
Yeah.
that money coming from, guys? If the federal government's not giving it to us, like, who's paying for that?
Yeah.
But yes, okay.
Yeah. Wouldn't really expect the federal government to be giving money for anything solar at this point.
Yes.
Coal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we just throw in the towel?
Yeah.
I don't think so, right? We can't. I mean, in the big picture, you know.
This is hopefully just a temporary. Oopsie.
Are there any other questions that we can help to answer?
I feel like I've been chatting away, so feel free.
Great questions.
I'm basically all set. So if we come back in September with the full board and vote on it then, that's okay? Is that what you're saying?
It's a little iffy. It's got good possibility,
Yeah.
but they're not gonna
Second.
guarantee it.
Because normally,
September 8th, okay. Yeah.
because
September 8th
normally
is
we
fine.
wouldn't even be meeting in July and August.
No,
That's fine.
no.
Yep.
What are you gonna, do you want us to come back and answer.
We can have Tom watch the meeting on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can watch it
Oh,
on
I
YouTube.
know.
Well, if any questions come up in the interim, got our contact info.
Yes.
Please don't hesitate to ask.
And I think by that time we'll know better on the
Federal pack.
the federal Pacific
Pacific
panels and.
We should be moving a little further along.
And
at
I'd like
that
to
point.
see something in writing, not a budget guideline that says that money's ours every year.
That would be lovely.
I really would like to see that, because budget guidelines change and we don't get to
And
change it.
delayed and every excuse in the book that they don't actually really have any true standing other than they like to try and think they do.
Okay, noted.
So do you want a motion that we're tabling this until September for the full board? Hopefully the full board's here.
I would accept that.
Okay, so I motion that we table this decision for further consideration and the full board's hopeful participation on September 8th.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous.
Thank you. guys.
Thank you very much.
Very informative. I learned a lot.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Glad to hear it.
or
Thank
you know,
you.
You're very welcome. Have a good rest of your meeting.
I know. Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
Have a good
your time.
evening.
Thanks, you
too.
too.
Hopefully you don't have a long haul back to where you're out.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Agenda item number 2. My
Oh,
word,
maybe
where's my
back.
reputation gone?
I know.
Minutes from the July 14th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the July 14th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 3, financial statements. June 2026 and the quarterly report.
So I just had a little talk with Dan. We talked about a lot of stuff, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So he said Section 8 is doing really well, better, very well, and kind of going as expected. Public housing, you'll see a little bit of a dip, but we're still fine, and that's just due to the fire and the benefits payout for retirement. But he says we're right on track, and that we are still above the 80% reserves. So
Okay.
that's good. So we're at with that.
Any other discussions regarding the financial statements?
So I had stuff with the tenants' accounts receivable because kind of
For PMR or for this one?
they tie in together in my mind.
Okay.
But if you want to wait and hold it to PMR, that's fine.
It's totally up to you because is it about the not doing the write-off?
Well, we plan to do the write-off, and there's still time, I would assume, to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm still thinking that tenant's accounts receivable, even with the write-off, should hopefully be coming down more.
They are evicted.
Okay.
So that takes care of one
Yeah.
account. Okay.
Yeah, I will make a motion that we receive and place on file the June 30th financials.
Second again.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 4, approval of the July warrant in the amount of $374,250.03.
I'll make a motion that we approve the warrant for July 2026 in the amount of $374,000. $250.03.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy and a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? I had a question, actually. I did see Sarah is signed up for the meeting, for the conference?
That was for the spring conference.
Oh, that was for the spring. Is she signed up for the fall?
She is not signed up for the fall.
Is she gonna go? Are you gonna go? That was my
I am
question.
gonna go. Yes, I'm gonna go. I was just telling Kristen earlier. I did not know that you also had to book a hotel room at the same time. So
She
I learned that
scrambled a
lesson. I learned that lesson. But yes, I will be going. Sarah is going to be staying here. We did hire somebody new, so I want to make sure.
Okay.
I don't want to leave.
I just want to make sure you know that the board encourages you
Yes.
to attend.
No,
and
yes. They are going to be
staffing
doing.
that you think is appropriate
Yes.
to take with you
No.
is highly recommended.
I had talked to Sarah about that as well. And I actually had asked them to do some more training with occupancy cycle. That's important based on our PMR and rent calculation.
So you asked who to do?
I asked Sarah and our new person to do those 2 trainings, which are
Okay.
in September and October,
Oh, all right.
Okay.
especially the vacancy cycle.
And just
The
while we're
occupancy
talking
cycle.
about conferences, I am always an advocate of putting an ad in the book.
She did, I saw that.
Yes, I did
Oh,
put
okay.
an ad. I did put an ad.
Full page.
Full page.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you.
don't mess around. I
I
saw
I
that.
like-
just, well, I just went
One
by
for
last
section
year. As I
8
said,
too?
what
Was
did we
it-
do last year?
Was there
That's
2 of them? One for section 8, or was it all tied together?
one.
All right,
One.
I couldn't figure out if there
Yes.
was 2 ads or
Yes.
just one. And I should mention to the commissioners that this conference is open to you. Should you want to go, you contact Karen and she'll get you signed up. It's
Yeah.
at Seacrest. I don't know the dates
Yep, it's
exactly.
Seacrest, September 13th through, so that's Sunday.
Yeah,
Monday,
it's coming
Tuesday.
up fast and furious. So
Yeah,
if you want to go, you gotta.
I do recommend it. They do have some great things for board members. It's a great way to learn about what's coming up with HLC and understanding kind of your role as a board member, learning from other housing authorities and learning how amazing Easton is. But I learn a lot in those, and
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity to network.
You
And
realize
the
you're not
authority
alone.
would
Yeah.
pay for that.
Yeah,
It's a weekend.
No,
it's
Sunday,
Starts
Monday,
on
Tuesday.
Sunday, it goes till Tuesday.
Sunday nights. It's
they have like a round table Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
and then from there they have a cocktail hour on a cruise, like around the.
around the harbor
Harbor.
or something.
Yep, and then Monday is the keynote speaker, HLC's updates, which I hear will be a lot of updates, a lot of talk about our computer changes.
If we could forward them maybe the
Yeah,
that
would be
the
great.
email we get, and they can look at the agenda
Yeah.
and the dates, the times, the sessions, what may apply to us, what may
Yeah.
not. There are commissioner trainings and stuff, though,
There's a
they're
few.
very specific to commissioners.
yes.
So it's an option, should you be able to, recommend it, but it's not.
And I've driven down there in the, just
I was
for the
married
day.
there.
Coming,
You were married there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're not going
Yeah.
back?
No, still married, still married.
So yeah, if you don't really want to go and spend the day, just overnight, just you go down for the day. If you want to go back down the next day, you can do that too.
Whatever works.
Whatever.
It's obviously optional too, so.
Pay for everything,
Mhm.
including whatever travel you incur, gas, money.
Food.
The food is provided at the conference. They do lunch, and they usually have a continental breakfast.
And one dinner they do.
Yeah.
And one dinner.
One dinner.
All right, any other questions or concerns regarding the warrant for July? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 5. Project number 088082, ARPA targeted awards for Eastern Federal Pacific Panels.
That's so good. So the bids went out. They came in that week, and John Murphy's great. He's the electrical engineer that's been assigned to our project. He did all the reference checking. He looked and he created the scope of work, and he chose American Electric Construction, and it might be familiar because they have done work here at the Easton Housing Authority in doing the fire alarm upgrades.
It always scares me when somebody's so far off, you know, like numbers.
There's always, yeah.
Yeah, you wonder if you're getting that change order or
Yeah.
that, they get their foot in the door and then they whack you with the change orders.
Well, the change order can only be 10%.
They say.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, projected.
So when I was in Fairhaven, we did a large project over $9 million, and I'm trying to remember because we had a sub contractor for electrical. I want to, I mean, we could approve it contingent on me checking whether this was the company that we had issues with.
I also have the bid docs, so it talks about his previous jobs.
Yeah, but sometimes
If
they
you
leave
want-
jobs off.
Yeah, true. I was gonna say, if you want
But
to,
you
maybe I
can, we
grab
can
it.
certainly look at it, but for some reason.
Oh, were we happy with the fire alarms?
Dan had no issue with them. I had told Dan.
No, the biggest issue was that
I
they
mean,
left
this is
buildings
a-
off the project
Yeah.
design.
And this is a way bigger project than just the fire alarm. I mean, this is
a big deal.
this is a pretty big deal. And it's fast moving because of the funds tied to it.
But it's also gonna be held up if we decide to go forward with solar.
No, I think this will happen anyway. If
It's
we-
gonna happen, but now they're gonna wanna talk to each other. If we are agreeing to solar, they were just saying,
They'll be Solar will be thrilled to have the upgrade.
yeah.
The panels right now are in a crawl space.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Have
saying.
you heard? Have you guys heard? So they're in a crawl space underneath a leaf, and you go in, you go down 5 steps, the little ladder, and then you just turn, and there's the box. So they have to take the whole box outside because it's not up to code. I don't know if it ever was, but
So Solar would be thrilled to have us do any sort of upgrade.
Mhm.
I think that's just a benefit if we go solar.
I'm just wondering though, if any of this project would have to be changed if we are gonna do solar.
No.
I mean, solar would be happy, but is any of what's been spec'd out should be different to accommodate solar?
Essentially what they do is they put the meters on the outside and they have a disconnect, and the reason why they've been upgrading those from even the residential side of it is for fire.
Yeah, I
Fire
know.
department comes, pulls it, disconnected it, and then they don't have to even worry about going in the building. So it's a way for them to cut the power to the building and or service it.
Okay, so, I mean, they are the little bidder, obviously.
That's the only thing that scares me.
And I know John Murphy, and I know he does his homework, so he checked and he said that they passed his sniff test, and
So be
I
it.
just hope it's not the company I have issues with. But anyway,
not two. I hope not two.
yeah, I can make a phone call in the morning, but
Yeah, that's not gonna do us no good tonight.
Nope.
So I would entertain a bid. Bid, a motion. I'm way past my hour.
Yeah, I know.
I will make a motion that we approve the low bid submitted by American Electrical Construction in the amount of $395,000 for the fish number 088082 Fed Pack panel replacement project 6673A.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That is unanimous. Okay, project number 088084, entrance sidewalk replacement change order request.
So you'll see we have 1, 2, 3,
Four.
4, 5. 5 change order requests.
Can you total up how much that is altogether?
Yes, I did, and I didn't bring it with me because I just spoke to Sean and Mike about these, and I think we're at 32. I think they told me it was 32, but I can't give you the exact number. So the first one was for the addition out here on the island where we added 4 more parking spots. That's the first one. The second one is for tree lines within the island that had to come down. We had moved a tree. The tree over here in front of the flag needs to be taken down due to where they designed the trash pad to go. You can't lift it up, it will go into the tree, so that has to come down. And I actually agree with that as well because there's gonna be parking on the other side of that, and that tree's, a few of the trees actually were a little bit rotted. Asphalt driveway extension, you'll see when you come into building 11 and 12. So it's always a very steep curve, or I should say sharp curve, where our fire emergency personnel couldn't get through, nor could our plows. He used to have to plow it the reverse way, he said. So that is for the extension of that. And the last one is to relocate the light that is currently where the dumpster is, needs to be moved to the other side, so it actually can cover something that people need to go to. It's important that they have light when they go to the dumpster. So that's what that $9,000 change order is.
So Mike didn't give you anything that says
Mike and Sean approve of all of it.
Okay, but he didn't put
Mike-
anything in writing.
He did not put anything in writing. He, I spoke to him on the phone today before I actually came out because I said, "What do you want me to say?" He was here on last Thursday and we walked through the site. It was me, Dan, and Mike together. We had a few more work orders than this, change orders, and Mike kind of walked us through it as like why we wouldn't do that, why we don't need that, that's not cost effective. There was a few things that he wanted changed, curb cuts, placement of fence, and is it berms that go around?
Yeah.
Placement of those, and I'm probably gonna say it wrong, a Cape Cod curve over near the garage. It's for like where the water flows, it like guides the water.
Yeah.
So he was just going over that with us, electrical pieces, but these are the ones that him and Sean discussed and approved and spoke to Dan and I about.
So does that explain why we're missing change order 5 and 6?
Yes,
Oh.
those are not approved. So we're missing
So we got more coming.
Yep, no, those are not approved. We did not feel, or they did not feel, that those were needed. And
Not
Sean-
to say that there couldn't be something that comes along further on.
Well,
down the line.
there's probably, I mean, we see a lot of these now because when we start digging, that's when you always find stuff. Because we talked about that, I said, what does that look like next? And he's like, well, we don't know what that looks like next. It's when they're starting to pull up the sidewalks and when they're over here digging, there could be more change orders based on
In the
that.
grand scheme of things, this isn't too bad.
No,
No, and the big one is the additional parking. So I had asked them to do that because we need as much parking here as we can get. I don't know what, it's just, I don't know why.
Well, when they built it in 1960.
No one drove? I don't-
Nobody,
yeah.
and every household had one car.
Yeah, so we
it's
did,
not necessarily the case anymore.
yeah, so I did ask them to put that additional parking there because there was room. And I felt like the green space was just gonna be wasted space that no one's going to use. That can be better utilized for our tenants and their guests.
And you'll never get it in the future. So
Ever.
Do it now.
Yeah,
do it.
ever.
Just
So
do it.
that's the big $18,000 one.
and I'm just curious who's doing the tree removal.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
So the tree, oh God, they had a company come in and do it. I don't know,
Okay.
they were here in like an hour. They take the
All
sewing
right, so
machine,
they just
scoop it.
didn't do it themselves.
No,
Yeah.
no. They were like in a harness up there. It wasn't. Century was here watching them, but they weren't doing it.
Is there a case where this wasn't picked up in the initial design, when,
Yes, so because I asked for the additional parking spots over here
Yeah.
in the center island, so they removed one tree. And then they had to remove that tree because, and thank God they did because it was rotted. It was I don't know if anyone knows trees, but it was a Dutch
Yeah.
Elm.
elm. So that had to, I'm thankful that had to come down. But this one over here, when they designed the dumpster pad, they did not take an account for the tree. So when they lift that dumpster, because the dumpster hasn't been on the grass, it's been on the cement out,
They moved it in 10, whatever.
and it will go, and they can't get it up. And it will have a fence around it. So that has to be chopped.
So it's 4 additional spaces, right?
4 additional spaces for that first one, yep. And then we have, and you can see them right out there, and then we have the tree removal, which was for the parking extension, and the other one. And the asphalt extension, which is over here at building 11 and 12, that's the turn. And then the light base, Dan requested that move because it wasn't gonna light anything, and he wanted the dumpster lit.
I agree. Do you know if you need can we do all at once or do we have to do them individually?
I think because I just put them, because I wasn't sure how many he was gonna send me when I had done the, I think if we just say accept requests 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, and 7, that's sufficient for me to do on Cap Hub. So I'll write that
We're
request.
missing 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Do you know what the count is of handicap spots?
So we talked about that. Right now, the only handicap spots that are assigned are the ones here in the back. He has, like the sign,
It'll be
itself.
signs.
The sign
okay.
itself, not a sign
not
to
a
people.
sign,
No.
okay.
A sign is placed out in front, sorry. We have some newer tenants that are in chairs that have vehicles that they have to have an assigned dedicated spot. So we discussed that, and one of them is a van. So we discussed that with Mike earlier, and Mike said that there's plenty of room for us to make those. He did bring up the concern if we make it a handicap spot that is open to anybody. And if that is a person's assigned spot, they might not be able to park there if somebody else is parked there with a handicap placard, and there's nothing that I can do about that.
It
That's
doesn't
the
happen
law.
often, but
Yeah.
it may happen.
That's the law.
Yep.
And so what I fear, if I do have the handicap out there, is that there's a lot of people with handicap plates here.
Sure.
And if they don't have a spot closer than they would like, but park an individual spot that
What about a sign that says like reserved for handicap van or something along that line?
well, even with a handicap van spot, anybody with a handicap placard can park there.
Because like you pull up
So-
to the mall or somewhere and they have that extra
If you have a
buffer
handicap,
beside it so you can get off,
Yeah.
get out from the side.
I mean,
of
that's
the
like a
wheelchair.
courtesy thing. That's not the law. Anybody with a handicap placard can still park there.
But there are bigger spaces to accommodate vans
Yes.
than a standard handicap
Yes,
space.
yes, and we talked about that with Mike that day. We walked the whole campus about walkways, because I was like, I need to make sure there's plenty of room in the walkways, and he was
would know that.
yeah, he was really good about
I always used to ask him, how
he's
many more can we fit in here?
yeah he's really good.
He's
Like-
very good.
I keep telling him how thankful I am because I keep
Wherever
calling
that-
him.
Wherever that van may park too, they might need, like
A
a ramp
ramp.
access or something, so that
Yep.
might be worth designing now and getting that figured out
Yep.
beforehand.
And so where he's thinking, there's one right there. And it's easy access to their apartment closer than where they would be. And I have to make that a priority for people who have barriers, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I can't have them coming from here
No,
and
No, that's no good.
that's not what the whole intent of this was.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of talk about that. A lot of our tenants have come up and asked to be moved spots I've told him no one's moving anything right now until we are completely finished and we get the spots numbered and we can figure out where everybody needs to go, because we do have additional parking over here now, I mean, there's plenty of parking, so there'll be plenty of spots for everybody.
So you are considering spots out in the circle,
Yes,
probably somewhere between 4 and 6.
7
Okay.
as well, yes.
So we had a resident here has since passed, and he was in a handicap signed area, but he also had a number. So that was really illegal then.
Yeah.
Well, if the sign was in the visitor parking, first of all, no one should have 2 cars unless you have 2 household members, right?
No, he
One
was,
That's
car per
in the
licensed
policy,
driver.
it's right, it's 1 car per
Licensed driver.
licensed driver, that's what your Easton housing policy says. So if he has 2 cars on site, that is,
no, he just had the one van
yep,
in a spot that had the sign, the handicap sign,
yep,
and he also had a painted number
yeah, he shouldn't have
on,
that.
and so and nobody touched that space, that was always
The
there.
numbered spot,
So that was
Yeah.
illegal then.
You
he
can't,
shouldn't have been doing that.
you can't restrict a handicap spot.
I cannot assign that to anybody.
Anybody who comes in with a handicap placard, whether a tenant,
It's a moot
visitor,
point now, but
Yeah.
that went on for a long time.
Yeah. Anybody with a handicap placard has a right to park in a handicap spot. That's the law. That's it. I cannot tow anybody from a handicap spot if they have it, unless they don't have a handicap placard.
The only people that can intervene on a handicap spot are the police
Yeah.
department, not us.
I cannot, a tow company is not coming down here on my request to tow somebody out of a handicap spot. Nope. They will not do it. That's,
So is that just one spot? Are there other?
no, there's others that, so we talked about that, about assigning the spots to the handicapped apartments that are more accessible than where they were, because I don't know how the parking was made before, but there's people all over the place. I learned from some of the tenants at Building 1, they're over here, some have parking spots back here, so we're hoping to rearrange those things, but we're not doing anything until
Until
we.
you got some,
But that's
you
all
can see the
about,
spaces.
Yes, until I can see
Can't
the spaces.
assign it until
yes.
I know it
I mean,
exists.
Mike really brought it up and brought us through that, because I wasn't thinking of it, and I said, I have a tenant coming in who has, that was one of their first questions. I have to be closed, and now we have the parking. Before I'd be like, sorry, it's not gonna happen, but now we have the parking.
all right, so I will make a motion to approve change orders, request number 1, request number 2, number 4, 3, 4, and 7. For fish number,
It is
088084.
do you want the amounts of each?
No,
Okay.
I mean, if you wanna say the amounts, you can, but
Request number 1 in the amount of $18,960.63. Request number 2 in the amount of $2,664.15. Number 3 in the amount of $2,664.15. Request number 4 in the amount of $3,128, no cents. Request number 7 in the amount of $9,777.16.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chris Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Mine was easy, I only got one.
oh, is that all I gave you?
Yeah.
Was it just one?
I just got the first one, that's
Did you-
it.
You got my copy?
Yeah, but it's highlighted, I got the colorful one, so.
Well, aren't you special?
Okay, did I take a,
CMAP, nope, you're right.
no vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
I took it for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam. Someone's paying attention.
Yes.
All right, agenda item number 7, CMAP certification.
So there was an improvement on our CMAP, which is good news. We did score 100.
CMAP is a HUD performance review for Section 8 program, for in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, Section 8. Do you know what the acronym is? Section 8 management.
I do not know.
I had to call Tom to find this. So I did learn that last year we scored a 96. And if you want to go to page 1 of 2, which is like the second round, it's 8. It's the payment standards. So it's the second to last page. The previous year they were using the wrong payment standard, so that's why they had the deduction. So that's why we're back up to 100.
Yeah, nice. Very,
So they did rectify that.
nothing better than
I
100.
believe they were using Brockton's.
Yeah,
payment
there's always
standards or
issues with
something,
payment
so-
standards are always all
So
over
now
the
you're
place.
using Abington.
Yeah.
Do you need a motion on this?
Yes, I need
Okay.
to accept it.
I make a motion that we receive and accept the CMAP scores for the Section 8 program, effective fiscal year end 3/31/26.
Okay, second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further comment, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 8, performance management review report.
So the performance management review report, if you look at the overall score at the end, I'm just gonna round it up to an 85. It's 84.89. Could we do better? Of course. There were some findings. So for the desk audit, we have a corrective action for TAR, which is the, if we go to page.
You were 1 day late on one and
So the 1 day late is me. That was when I had to call HLC to figure out why HAFIS wasn't working. They didn't know.
But they're not gonna
they
ever
didn't,
give you a
they
break
didn't
for
know,
that.
but they gave you corrective action.
And
That's
so they
pretty
gave,
good.
so that was one, but then we had one in December for 79 days.
Yep.
But I just want the board to remember that HAFIS they're phasing it out.
It's all becoming chart, right?
No, it's all going into Cap Hub now. But there's something going on with it because it like doubled my vacancies when I was putting in the vacancy waivers. I started getting, so although they're working on moving stuff over to Cap Hub, they're not helping APHIS really that much. So it is a little difficult to manage right now, but we're just going with it. So I'm thinking that Kathy wasn't able to submit it for some reason. 79 days over, so we have to do it. I think it's within 60 days of the end of the quarter.
Yep.
Right? Is that our thing?
Yeah, I read it in there.
And she was 19 days.
Do we have to submit to them what we're going to do to
No.
what our corrective action plan?
I do not. I talked to Kim about that. Kim was great. Was wonderful. She basically told me the same thing. She's like, I have to do it because this is the rules, but we know what HAFIS.
That makes absolutely no sense.
And you know what?
But we're not gonna take responsibility for it.
Yes.
You're still getting corrective
Corrective
action.
action.
We know
And
you
if-
couldn't do it, it was our
And
fault,
it's a
but
publishing
shame
year.
on you.
Yep, and it's a publishing year this year.
Oh,
So this
Oh,
is
I hate
yes.
that.
God forbid.
If it's the same next year, then I will have to
Come up with a plan.
come up with a plan.
Okay.
Tell them to publish away.
Yeah, she's like, you guys are fine. And then for the board training, so I did send some emails out to
Yep.
people that need to do
I
their
have
board
them.
training.
I have it.
I got it.
If you need
I
help,
think Don will
it was the
it
three of you,
I didn't-
Arthur and Tom.
There was an email, I think it came out.
So I sent an email,
I
but
saw-
maybe I don't have your right email. Let me check before you leave. But if you
I got
guys,
mine straight from Kim.
oh really?
I got yours, you sent me.
Did I sent you one?
Yeah.
I sent
And
the
then
three
think
of
I
you
got
on
one
it.
from you
I'm
too.
just not on the naughty list, that's good.
You were not.
This time.
It was hard to. I mean, you'll see it in there, but it. It's not as easy. Before you used to be able to click through it. Now you got to watch the whole thing. But if you
Same
need
thing
help
with
on your
Netflix,
computer, you can just come to my office. I can set up the computer and I can get you on there. You have to use your emails that you gave to HLC, which are the same emails that I email you with. And then I believe you have to do your forgot password. So if they don't give you a password, and then you get it. So that's something that we have to fix. I just want everyone to rest assured that every single housing authority has that action, it appears. So don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're not.
Don't worry
We're
about
not.
We're not worried.
Um,
Don't- yeah.
it. And I think it's the same training. I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah.
So there's that. You'll see on the desk audit the next corrective action is for CHAMP. It's our vacancies. So in our vacancies, if you go, I wish that they numbered the page, but it is the CHAMP closeout report is the top title of it. It's closer to the back.
Are they saying
It's
they're
5 pages from the back.
not date stamped appropriately? Or
So timestamp was an issue. So everything has to be timestamped here. So when people apply for housing, when we receive any documents, they'll have to be timestamped and uploaded within a certain amount of time. So timestamp we failed. So I got a new timestamp.
Good.
Uploading we passed. So that's good. We upload it in a timely manner. The only thing that is a real issue is our vacancy data. So they're going over the 30 days. So in HAFIS, there was a misunderstanding because we weren't accruing fees, which I'm not going to complain about. However, it wasn't signaling to you got to 60 days. So we fixed that. We revamped our board. We revamped our move-in, move-out sheets. Because what was happening is they would wait until they needed a waiver, until work, like, oh, now we need a waiver, we're 2 weeks in. I talked to Dan, I'm like, Dan,
Do it
you know,
immediately.
as soon as you see an apartment,
You need a
if you need a waiver or not. Like, we gotta put it in immediately.
Yeah.
So I have them doing that now.
It's almost worth it to just do it even if you don't think you need it.
Right, and we have Todd, the new facilities manager. He's great. He's like, just put it
Todd
on.
Lawson.
Yeah, put it under physical condition. It's always, he goes, these are aging buildings. It's physical condition. He's like, you're a great housing authority. You guys do your work. Use that and go from there. So those are the things that we implemented, not for anything but more efficiency.
And can I echo on those words? You're a good housing authority that does great work.
Yes.
The whole corrective action thing is nonsense.
I know.
It's just nonsense. You do great work, and it kind of makes it look like you're a problem child.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
not true.
And I learned
You didn't
all
press
about.
a button.
Yeah,
but
and I
everybody-
learned all about PMR from Kim
Yeah.
and Todd and how it came to
Yeah.
fruition through HLC. So, I mean, I understand it. I don't like that it's a cookie cutter template and it's like a pull down menu that they get to pick from because
Yeah.
it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, it's all black and white
Yeah.
to them. There's
Yeah.
no gray. It's like, yep, pass, fail. That's
Yes,
it. There's
yeah,
no
which is
gray
really
area.
interesting.
It's nonsense.
And then they score it. I was like, I
don't know how
understand.
they come up with those numbers.
I don't either.
It's like, who knows?
I don't either. But so overall, we did really good. So I
Yeah,
think
of course
that's
you
good.
did.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and Kathy
No,
for
Kathy.
doing what you both have.
Kathy had to come in. We had to go through the report. I made her.
It's, and that whole publishing thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know where it gets published, but somewhere.
And no, if it was published, nobody would know what the heck they were reading.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you need that?
We needed
Motion.
just motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept the PMR report issued by EOHLC for fiscal year and, or I'm kind of assuming it's this.
Yeah, 3/31/26
3/31/26,
for FY.
results issued on 8/3/2026.
Motion by Commissioner Chris Anshidi, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion on the PMR?
Nope, I'm set.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 9, Facility Condition Assessment Report.
So I'm giving you this. This happened in June. You will notice that some of the items on here are already addressing through projects. We will use this doing our capital plan in October with Craig from ECAT and Dan and prioritizing the safety issues.
So the distribution panels, that's all the Fed.
It's
That's-
already,
So we
already
would've
taken
known
care
that
of.
It tells us there they're
Yeah.
200 amps. I
Yeah.
knew it said somewhere.
Yep. So those are taken care of. I think not more surprised, like the most surprising was like the radiator electric at Elise. Like those are big projects that, the porch at buildings 10 at Elise, those new porches are in poor shape, they said.
Wait a minute, new porches that are in poor shape?
I call them new porches because it's the new buildings.
Okay.
It's 6673.
All right.
The 6673 with the porches. The kitchens at Chandler. Those are in poor.
I'm gonna assume that a lot of this was already on the list.
It-
Nothing of this.
No, nothing here is going to surprise you guys.
And some
like
of
our
the
mailbox
projects are
is
already
failed.
in queue.
Yes. So, but they have to come out, make sure that the
Yeah, they do. it
capital
all the time.
funds are being appropriated properly, and that
I like that when they come out. We'll be there next week. Be ready.
that's exactly.
Yeah, they
The
did it in
conversation-
Brockton too. There's a couple
and
thousand.
It's
like
very
this-
confusing for tenants because you hear the state's coming and then they're coming in October, and you know what I mean. I'm coming like 13 times in a month,
Yeah.
and it's like I didn't know you were coming. So
Now you have to notify everybody. Then people
Everybody.
start calling me. You already picked my apartment.
yes, and
it's
I'm like, no,
"Oh, I
yes,
didn't
we
pick
did, but no, we
anything."
didn't. Yeah, it's hard. So yes, so we just need to accept that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the condition assessment report for Easton Housing that was issued in June.
Yeah, August, we got the results.
August results of a June review. By,
It was July 17th review. It was July 17th through the 22nd.
Wait a second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion?
The vinyl, the asbestos tile, no, is that gonna be,
What page?
well, it's, what,
Is it the second one?
third, no, next, the third one in, I guess, second one in, yeah.
Yep, so
Yeah, you got a lot of tile in.
Yep, so it's the abatement because the tile, I don't know if it's the tile or the glue that has the asbestos in it.
tile usually,
Yeah.
depending on the age.
It's 8x8, it's usually
Standard.
telltale sign.
Eight, but that's the size. What size are they? Smaller now or
Yeah.
a little different?
Yeah, it's low. Okay.
All right.
And they may already be on the list to be done.
Did we do a vote on that?
Not yet. Any
Okay.
further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. And I have Pam here to keep
Yeah.
track.
It's gone. It's a late one. The executive director contract has been denied again from HLC. I gave you the email from Kim that says they will not accept the sick time. Everything other than that looks fine.
Well, that's good. Take the file and put it in your file. Take your
Yep.
contract, put it in the file. We're good.
Okay.
And a copy of the email. And if you have any concern, I might suggest, if that's something that would help you or ease your mind, that the board puts a formal letter in there saying, we have received your denial and we do not accept that because we have already
We've all-
approved this contract.
Mhm.
in an open meeting. We negotiated it.
No, isn't it after July or something like that, wasn't, or is it July of next year where it's gonna be a non-issue anyway because of years of service?
So that isn't the issue. They accepted that. They accepted because that's in our policy. So they have, so I will get the three weeks in July, and I'll get the regular 15 sick days like everybody else. They're disputing the 10 days that I negotiated at our meeting.
To carry over because you already
Because you
had
can't
those.
carry it
Yeah.
over, and it appears that I'm carrying it over. But I said, you asked us to change the language, you can't carry over. We're not carrying over. It was negotiated, and they said no.
Okay. We still say
So,
yes.
Yeah. No. So yes, you are right. Those are all, and in the contract, because I had multiple people look it over, especially when it came to the hours in our personnel file and the benefits. So the first page of the contract where it says benefits, how many hours of leave each year of continuous employment, you have to write that. So those are the same. And then you have to put it in the writer, and we did that, and they just didn't accept it. So that's enough.
We accepted it though, so we're sticking with
it's
it because,
Apparently a common thing.
yeah, but I don't know
In
how they
Sweden,
can
I don't
ask
know.
us to just tear up something and,
I don't know.
sorry Karen,
Yeah.
that don't count no more. And by the way,
Yeah, so
no,
that's that.
okay.
So are you comfortable with that?
I'm fine with it if you're fine with it. And I don't even know if I necessarily need a letter if I have board meeting minutes.
Okay.
It says it in it.
If you ever
It's-
do want that.
Yeah.
Just let us know. You guys agree with
Yeah,
that?
that's fine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we don't need anything on that, right?
No, do we have to
I
make
could
a
make a
motion?
really fun motion that just.
Yeah.
No, we'll move on.
Okay. Executive director report, not as long as last time. Okay, we have a total of 8 vacancies. We've leased up since our last meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. We've used the Taunton Vacancy Initiative. They were great. They are costly, but they were good. They did the job. So 43 Parker was one of the apartments that was disrupted due to the fire that had the water heater. That should actually be online pretty soon to go. 123 and 124 are at the final stages. So I believe we're waiting on cabinets, I think Dan said.
Well, that's 10% takes 90% of the time.
Oh God. I mean, because we painted, we've sanded,
Yeah.
like they did all that work.
Yeah.
But
that's
41, we already have somebody living there. We already have someone living there. So that is done. They did a great job on that. Interestingly enough, we're doing pretty good. I mean, we made some changes to that vacancy board, and it's really helping them move along pretty quickly.
That's good. Yeah, you had quite the list, so you're plowing through it.
Yeah. And the units that you see that aren't leased already have people that we're offering them to. Because I explained, just because it's not ready doesn't mean you can't make an offer. I think that was really putting us behind. Because we know that that's a projected ready date. For the ones with the fire, it's the end of September. So we can notify people now to, hey, you could possibly be moving in.
September 30th.
You know what I'm saying? So I said you don't have to wait for it to be completed to offer. You can. So we did that.
If you're pretty confident with,
Yeah, no. With that, it's easier. And I mean, that's where, one thing I'm really good at is the champ and the vacancy piece.
Feel free.
So for rent roll, we are at 190,000. We do have, which is a little decline, but you can see we have some more vacancies here. So that does impact our rent roll. For updates, we do have a new staff member. Dawn left us at the end of July. Isaiah came. He's wonderful. He is very customer oriented. He's jumped right into the role. He's learning. He wants to learn. He works Monday through Thursday. I wish I could give him more hours. He's hungry. He's young. But he's already taken initiative. He saw our newsletter and didn't like it. It was like, this can be better. So he's making it better. So that was nice. Valerie, for any of you guys who know her, Val did the Meals on Wheels here for 17 years. She retired on Monday. We
Wish
do.
you well.
Yeah, she is. She's been amazing, helping do a lot of activities. So she will be missed. But the person they picked for her name escapes me right now. But she'll be jumping in, and and moving right along. I think she'll have a long time here. Kristen Erickson, who does our meeting minutes, has resigned. She's given us 2 months, so her last meeting will be in October. So I will be looking to fulfill that role.
That's critical for you. To
Yeah,
Get somebody to do those minutes.
Yeah.
It's so time consuming.
very time consuming, and
Yeah. You
Yeah,
don't have
it's
the
also-
time. You don't have the time for
No.
that.
We're
no,
seeing if
not if I don't want to be here on the weekends.
we're talking. I was talking with Karen about maybe seeing if Isaiah would be able to maybe get a couple hours to do that.
That's a good idea.
Right, but how does that work if he's on payroll? Can you pay him separate? That's,
Yeah,
Does
you
it
could
not
give
during
him.
his work
You
day?
could,
yeah,
yeah, well, you could pay him an hourly rate.
Yeah.
Whatever, negotiate it. I'll give you 4 hours or whatever, 5.
For the- yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
We're paying them one way or another, right?
Yeah.
yeah, so we paid Kristen 40.
Yeah, and that's kind of low, I think. I
Yeah,
keep
she did
seeing
it,
that.
she
There's
did
a
it
lot
for
of
over
time.
10, like she did this for a long time, over 10 years, I believe. That's a long time doing meeting minutes.
Yeah.
I hate doing minutes.
I
My least
second
favorite
that.
thing.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's very tedious.
Especially on a 2-hour meeting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she was doing off the watching.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be an expert at summarizing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
have to
you
be
don't
good.
want verbatim. 'cause
No.
That's, to get
Be
on a meeting like
pages.
this, you'd be,
No.
nobody wants to read all
No.
that either.
No, you need to get to the meat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to know and is important. So that's I think that's my biggest problem I'm facing is the meeting minutes. But she gave us time, and that was really gracious of her.
Yeah, that was nice.
We met with Old Colony, Sarah and I, this morning. Our new housing specialist, Heidi, I say she's new because it's not the previous two that were here, is leaving. And they have a new housing specialist that we met today named Vanessa. We really discussed expectations, communication, how to work together more effectively because I feel like there's a big disconnect. I need to see them more. I need them to engage more with the office,
Yeah.
especially if I'm referring somebody to you for services. That means they need it. I'm
And-
not
and-
referring you for giggles.
And you should get feedback too, though.
Yes,
I met
so-
with them and
So we scheduled monthly meeting, and we did schedule a meet and greet that will go in our newsletter for September 3rd for the tenants.
don't they have a monthly, like a MAT, it's called a MAT meeting, I think.
I don't
They
even,
used to do them.
not since I've
The
been here.
Liz Weiner for OCS, she was there a long time. She just left.
Yes.
So, and now I assume that you have
I have Sydney.
Sydney.
And
Yeah.
I think Sydney is looking for somebody for the supervisor role now, which she had before.
Yeah.
There's a
So-
lot of shifting.
Sydney is the new person's
Boss.
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 Who did you meet with?
Vanessa, who will be, I met with Sydney, Vanessa, and Heidi.
And they were all there.
They were all there with Sarah.
Okay.
Yes. And so there's a lot of new tenants here, and I thought it would be helpful that we do the meet and greet on September 3rd, and that we also have a presentation for tenants during coffee hour on the 17th so they understand exactly what Old Colony and our direct support workers can do. Especially now with all this construction going on, those direct service workers can be a huge help
Critical.
with just bringing groceries from your car. And it's
Yeah.
very simple to be signed up with Old Colony. I think people think they're more involved and you lose some of your freedom. That's not the case.
What are the hours they commit here?
So they're here at regular hours from 8 to 4, the direct service workers. And then Vanessa.
Every day.
Every day, Monday through Friday. I do believe they have some on weekends, but I don't know that. But Vanessa will be here Monday through Friday
8 to
from
4.
8:30 to 4, and then 4:30 on one day.
And that's what the other girl was also
No,
doing?
no. She
So
was
we're
pulled.
getting more hours.
Yes, she was pulled.
And
From-
we have that in writing that they're going to commit to.
You gotta keep track of them. 'cause
So it's we have it in the
they bill you,
the
right?
MOA. No. We have it in the MOA.
They were here 7 to 7, and the only holiday they took off was Christmas.
Was that the direct service
No, that
workers?
They had best of care.
Yeah, best of care. Yes.
So they're here 7 to
So
7.
they might be. They might be.
There's
the
somebody
only-
in the office here every day.
Yeah. That's good to know. So
But what you kind of just met with them on and what your expectations are,
Yeah, so my so we talked about it pretty at length because I wasn't getting a response when I was referring tenants there.
And sometimes they argue they can't give you full responses.
I don't need to know exactly the ins and out of what they're doing with them, but I need to know that you responded and that you're addressing the issues that I have. There are some tenants here that I have given them information, the tenants, and they haven't reached out. And it's at a critical point where they're going to lose their housing if they do not receive services. So I have volunteered myself to be the Karen and push them to that. If you don't get these services, you're going to potentially lose your housing.
Yeah.
And that isn't my intent. My intent is to house people, but I have to keep you safe in your home.
Yeah.
And I have to
set
make
some
so
precedent.
that's been a hard sell, but I need that team to buy in.
Aging in place.
Yeah,
And
I need
support you.
Yeah, so I need them to buy in. I did have to make my own calls to protective services on some individuals.
And we know they work really well.
And so I did get a letter back, which was shocking. I did refer those tenants also to TPP, the tenant preservation, because if I'm involved, that means we're at critical point here.
Things aren't good.
Yeah, I said I'm not someone to, it's bad. We're in a bad situation. So we discussed that a lot, and what my role is and what I need their role to be, and that how we can support each other moving forward. And
So,
Sydney
and
was
you-
in agreement with
You
that.
might have already done this or are planning to do this, but I would bullet every single thing you went over with
A
that
summary?
today. And send a copy to them, ask them to potentially sign it and send it back to you would be lovely.
Yep.
But just say, I am retaining a copy of this in my files, this is our expectation.
Mm.
We discussed it fully, and if there's any reason that you're not gonna be able to follow through on this, we need to have a
Yeah,
conversation.
we need to have a conversation for sure.
So we have supportive housing in Abington, and we meet as a staff once a month, and supportive housing is there, and they report out on everybody.
Oh, they do.
They most
So-
certainly do, and Sydney Hines is the supervisor, Morgan Payzant. She's online, she's
Yeah.
on
So
Zoom's
hopefully
into it.
Vanessa will do that. Heidi has not had the time. She's not here very often because they
Yeah.
have her pulled in so many sites.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, why are they suddenly increasing the hours, and what's the true commitment to that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
they are notorious for yanking somebody out, and
well, that was the
Send them
promise with
somewhere else.
Heidi, right? She was going to be here full time. She hasn't been able to. It's not her fault. I mean, if they're telling her to go somewhere, she has to go somewhere. So we're working on that, and I think she could hear my frustration because we had a phone call last week to
Yeah.
get the meeting underway.
And they do have some, but they can say the resident in D7 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't have to mention names, but
No.
you'll know when it's
Yes.
like, okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
everybody knows who they're talking about, so
Yeah,
it's
there's
like,
I mean, when
but
someone's
it's like-
requiring help, it's no secret to anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody,
Yeah.
even tenants, because they're the ones who come to tell me.
Yeah, and it's like even your maintenance men, it's like nice for them to know that,
Yeah, I mean, they're like our first line of defense,
Oh,
our
yeah.
maintenance guys. Those
yeah,
guys
they
see stuff
see
that they
it.
should.
They
Oh,
see it all the time. They're your eyes and ears
yes,
out
they
there
are.
all day long.
And that's how I find out if they're like, Karen, I need you to come here. I'm like, okay,
Absolutely.
then I know. And if they're telling me to come, then I know I'm going into something. I did start to reach out to town officials. I met with Chief Boone already. I asked him to come send an officer during coffee hour. I learned from other tenants that there used to be an elderly liaison with the police department. She retired a few years ago, but they really did enjoy having someone come around for coffee. So I do have to send him the updated list once I get it from the housing specialist, and he said he'd be happy to send some officers down. I met with the town administrator last week, Liz. She was wonderful, and the assistant town administrator, Sean. So we talked a lot. I asked them, what they knew about public housing and what their experience was. It wasn't a lot.
generally isn't.
I told them what our role is and how I can help, make this a spot for Easton residents to come. I just need that word to get out. So we talked about that. She did send out a mass email to her team, like, you need to touch base with Karen and get more involved. So we have
you
that.
met with the COA person yet?
I have not. That was one of the emails that went to. It was Kristen, I believe her name was. I do have a meeting scheduled tomorrow with Jason from the Veteran Service Officer, because I do have a few young and disabled vets here, and I think it's important that he knows where they live
There's a
and
lot
that
they
he's
can
seeing
do.
them often.
There's a lot of benefits and things that he can provide them.
Yes, so I want to make sure that that connection's there, and if they're not using it now, they might need it down the road. So I just want to make sure that that's continued.
All right, anything out there, any NOFR out there for a resident service coordinator
No.
grant?
No, do you know they haven't really released any? They did a homeless.
Did you ever hear on your other app?
No, no. I don't think we'll hear back.
Well, they take forever.
Yeah,
Do they?
yeah. This is
Why do they give deadlines?
Huh?
Because they
It's
just
the
want.
same as sign this by August 31st or else.
I guess.
So I will make a motion that we receive and place on file the executive director's report.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. And finally, agenda item number 12, public comments. What do we got, folks? Anything?
Now that we bored you
I'm so
to
glad you
tears.
stayed.
It is quick. How do I make an appointment to see you?
Just come in and say, Karen, I want to talk to you.
Say that again?
Just come into the thing and say, Karen, I want to talk to you. You don't need to make an
Okay.
appointment.
Because I have a couple of things, but I don't think they're that serious.
Okay.
And I think we can solve them
Yeah.
rather quickly.
Ring that bell. Just be like, I want to talk to Karen. Go get her. I'll come out. I'll come out. And I'll
Go get
escort
her.
you to my office.
Go get her.
No, but I don't really want to make. I don't want to make. It's just if I'm busy, I'll ask you. Can you come back in like 2 hours tomorrow? But I don't want you to make an appointment.
I just don't know the ins and outs of the, of the office.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes I don't want to talk, I like Sarah.
No, but sometimes no. Just say, can I talk to Karen? Or you can just call me and say, Karen, I'm coming over. Can you meet me at the door? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I did have to start locking the door just because there was an incident in the office and we had to take some safety measures, but that doesn't mean that you can't meet with me. You just have to ring the bell and say, I need to talk to Karen. And that's it. I will be here tomorrow. Come find me. I have nothing on the books till 1. I have payroll in the morning, then I have Jason at 1. So, come find me.
Say that again,
I have payroll in the morning.
Yeah.
'Cause
So after
that's,
1?
so after, no, payroll's done by 9. I'm done. It's like the first thing I do. It's the first thing I do. Everybody wants to get paid, so I make sure.
Tomorrow is bingo day too.
Oh, you can come in before bingo if you come to bingo. I'll be here. Come see me. Yeah, you don't need an appointment to see me. I don't want to make appointments. That doesn't, it's not genuine. You know what I mean? Unless you really like Karen and you think it's going to be hours.
No, it's not.
Yeah. But no, my office is open.
Okay, that's great.
Any other comments, concerns? Hearing none, next board meeting, September 8th, 5 p.m. That's okay with everybody?
Good for me.
Motion to adjourn.
We're gonna ask for it first.
No, you don't.
We'll make sure we're good. The other one is stalled us here.
Me?
We're all set with that?
Good.
All right, with that, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
You're like a tag
We
team
have a
today.
motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy and a second by Commissioner Burrows. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
They did have a
I do
shuffleboard.
have one question. I